Oh, hi there. I'm Blackbright, broadcasting out of the UK. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to go into an immigration mode now, um, only because there's been some changes. As you know, for those of you who are foreign nationals seeking to renew or extend your visa application, there's been some changes since the visa offices opened post-COVID. So, what does that mean for you guys? It doesn't look very nice. So, I just thought I'd update you a little bit so you've got some idea about what to expect. And as you know, there are going to be challenges in this hostile environment because that is what it is. It's designed to make it as difficult for you as possible, and it's designed to make you jump through hoops to stay in the country. So, the application is a two-stage process. It starts on one government website, which is Access UK, or Visa for UK website. Both are poorly phrased with the questions and have irrelevant questions, and you really have to be careful how you answer them because some of them are designed to trick you if you're not alert and if you haven't got a lawyer. Right? They look pretty simple. Like, say, for example, one of the questions is, have you ever left the UK voluntarily? Now, a foreign national who's not born in the country may not be totally great with the English language, might think, oh, I've left the UK voluntarily. I've been on holiday to see my family. I've been on different vacations. So yeah, tick. I've left the UK voluntarily. But in immigration terms, what that means, and they don't explain it, is that have you ever stayed in the country and have overstayed and but have left voluntarily, meaning that the Home Office didn't have to deport you. You left on your own accord. That is what that means. How would you know that? And some of the wording in these application forms are like that. Very confusing, very ambiguous. And if you don't know the immigration jargon, you're screwed. You lose your money. They reject it. Anyway, I don't want to be negative. I'm going to try and be positive. Okay, this is information sharing only. You double check everything I'm about to tell you. You check with a lawyer, you check with an immigration lawyer. You can also search it just by Googling, immigration processes or stop for stereo, whatever it is you need to know. Okay, this is just an overview to enlighten you about what to expect about your visa application process post COVID-19, i.e., all the offices were closed end of March. They've now opened on the 1st of June, and I'm going to let you know a little bit about what you expect from the process. Okay, so once you've got through those two websites, you are then going to be directed to the Outsourced website, which is Sopra Steria. It's a private company that gets paid millions to do this, and they charge an arm and a leg for the privileged. They're hired by the Home Office to arrange the necessary documents and biometrics, i.e. the fingerprints and the photographs. They charge fees for emails, they charge fees for phone calls, they charge fees for couriers, they charge fees for health concierge, even though I don't know what the health concierge is. Maybe you can get a health check, I don't know. They charge fees for document checks, they charge fees for form filling, and that kind of stuff. On top of your immigration fees, and on top of your visa interview fees. Okay, so I'm just letting you know. So there are three main commercial providers: Stop for Stereo for applications made in the UK, and VFS Global, that's V for Victor, F for Freddy, S for Sugar, Global, or TLS Contact, T for Tommy, L for Lima, S for Sugar, for applications made abroad. So and a lot of they've also outsourced to a company called 5'9". Now, some people might think that that's some kind of scam. Apparently, they're supposed to be outsourced by the Home Office, but double check. Anyway, these are the gatekeepers between the customer Home Office, even though instructions are contradictory or they don't request mandatory documents. So these companies have set up this website for you to apply online. But what's happening is that the information for you to get your visa is very contradictory, and it's very ambiguous. For example, they'll ask you if you're living with somebody. They'll ask you if you want to bring your child over. If you say you want to bring your child over, they don't say we need a copy of the child's birth certificate. And if you don't send it, that's going to delay the application, because they need the birth certificate to prove that the child is yours. And they probably need a DNA test. So when you're putting in your application, you have to think ahead. You have to think, what might they ask? If I'm applying for my the partner I'm living with and not yet married to, what might I need to prove that I am living with this person? And that's how you have to think. You have to think ahead. Anything you write on that paper, you have to have something to substantiate it. So even though they're not going to ask you for a list of proof for the cohabitee, you bet after you've submitted it and paid your money, they're going to ask you for that information, and it holds up the whole process. You might even have to pay more money. They might reject your application. Who knows? So you need to be on the ball. You know what it is to prove you're cohabiting with someone. You need joint documentation, joint lease, joint mortgage, joint council tax, joint bank account, and it needs to be within a certain period of time. I don't know whether it's 6 months or a year. I've got no idea. That's why you need an immigration lawyer. Okay? So what else have we got here? And yet, you know, when you've got it wrong based on their lack of precision, like that question about have you ever left the UK voluntarily, they're quite merciless. They don't give you the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, yeah, you've misunderstood and I can understand this can be open to misinterpretation. Oh no, they don't say that. You're out, mate. You're rendered illegal because you've done that form wrong. You've completed it wrong. Because you probably couldn't afford a lawyer, you're actually penalised for not having a lawyer, because a lawyer would have picked that up. So what I get from all of this is that really and truly, they only want people who can afford to live in the UK. And if you can't afford to live in the UK, you don't come. That's basically it. So they're making the prices extortionate. And you have to jump through hoops to get it. Now you have to ask yourself, why do I want to jump through hoops to live in the UK? Ask yourself and spend thousands. What is it? You know, because I live here and I'm born here, I probably don't see what other people see, what outsiders see, what foreigners see. I don't see it, because I think even living here as somebody born on the soil, I think it's quite difficult at times. If you've lost your job, or, you know, you're renting somewhere and they want you out, it's hard, let alone for somebody who's foreign to come into the country, having to jump through all these hoops to stay in the country and probably treated with hostility while they're here. I don't get it. I don't get why people want to risk their lives crossing oceans and goodness knows what else, putting themselves in debt. I don't get it. Anyway, if there's a delay in submitting biometrics, your application can be rejected, even though it could be their fault. I'm telling you. Let me see. So nearly all of the Soprasteria centres, which is the abbreviation is UKVCAC, which stands for UK Visa and Citizen Application Centres, were closed in March due to the coronavirus. When restrictions eased, Soprasteria, which is the company commissioned to do the work, published a step-by-step guidance. I'm going to send you the link on what to expect when they opened on the 1st of June 2020. So Home Office has outsourced their visa system to a French company called Soprasteria, making the process more tenuous and more difficult. But they are trying to improve that process. What they're saying now is that if they have biometrics before, so if you're doing a renewal or an extension, they're saying that they can use your existing biometric data. You just have to upload the photograph with a more current photograph, and they'll ask you for other documents. But that is supposed to make it go through quicker, and it means you don't have to go through the centres. So that is the route that they're taking now, which will be to a relief for many of you. So in the past, visa applicants could go to their post office, their local post office, and upload documents and provide biometric data that way. But oh no, that was too easy, wasn't it? We've got to make their lives a bit difficult. We don't really want them here. We want their money, but we don't want them here, really. So what can we do to make it difficult? Oh, I know. We'll stop them from getting their biometric data done at the post office, and we'll set up these centres. I think they've got 8 free ones in the around the UK. And then what we'll do is we'll make them pay hundreds in order to get this information. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That'll make it really difficult, because we are supposed to be working towards a hostile environment. We are supposed to be discouraging foreigners from coming here. But I thought you were trying to discourage illegal migrants from getting into the country and getting rid of illegal migrants in the country. You're not supposed to be giving people who are paying their way and who are looking for a legal entry into the country, you're not supposed to be putting them under the hostile environment. That's not the way it's supposed to be. They're paying a fee. They're paying a fee. They obviously have a legal right to be in the country. You're not supposed to be giving them a hard time. Look for those people at the bloody borders. That's what you should be doing, walking up the borders and seeing who's trying to get in the country. You're supposed to be siphoning out illegal migrants, not innocent people who look like foreigners, and taking them in. Under Operation Nexus or whatever operation you've got to get people who are innocent and throw them in detention centres until you sort out what it is you've got to sort out. It's not right. You shouldn't be doing that. And of course, I'm talking to the Home Office. Anyway. Now, applicants need to attend one of the 6. I said 8. 6. Now, applicants have to attend one of the 6 call centres around UK, which offer a free service that you can never get hold of. Only a few are lucky to get in, but for which it is a challenge to get an appointment, or the location could be unreasonable, miles away. Or you can go to one of the 51 centres which charge a minimum fee of £51, but which is more likely to go up to around 260, depending on location and depending on your urgency. The service has made £2 million off of foreigners between January and April 2019 in the space of 3 months, according to Freedom of Information. And yet, even though they've made that 2 million off of foreigners, there's lack of availability to access anybody. They can't access anybody. Difficult to get an appointment. And they've got to travel miles because they need to do their biometric information. And you can only do that through the centres. I tell you, I would have given up. But it just shows you how determined people are. So Soprasteria offers premium service through a partner company called BLS, B for Bertie, L for Lima, S for Sugar, where appointments start at £200. And then I heard sometimes the equipment doesn't work. And even though, and you go all the way up there, you've paid your 200 quid, you can't even get seen. Mind you, they do say if there are technical issues, you do get a refund. But I don't know how that impacts your application. I don't know that part. So, there's a maze of information, a lot of misinformation, a lot of misdirection, making it difficult as possible to really get through this maze, through this visa application without legal representation. So not only do you have like nearly £2,000, you're probably paying out about 2,500 at the end of it, because you're looking at nearly 1,500 for your immigration fees, and probably that includes hopefully your health surcharge fee. Then you're looking at the Soprasteria fees to do all your biometrics. Then you're looking at immigration fees. And then you're looking, if you're running late and you need it quickly, you're looking at £800 on top to get it done in 24 hours. And some people say, even though you're paying for the 24-hour service, it takes about 5 days for you to get it. In some instances, it used to be £600. Now it's been bumped up to £800. It'll soon be £1,000. And you don't mind paying that if it's guaranteed to be turned around in 24 hours. But there are no guarantees. They're not going to commit to 24 hours. They're going to protect themselves. They'll say they'll do their best or something. Anyway, because it's out with subcontractors, i.e. Stereo Sopra, they don't have no loyalty. They don't really care about these people. There's no face-to-face contact, so there's no emotion involved. They don't really care who you are, what you look like, what you have and what you don't have, whether or not you are a genuine case, or whether or not you are articulate, or whatever it is. They don't care. They don't business. All they're looking at is your application on the end of a TV screen. And if you've made a mistake, whether it's a technical error or there's a technical error on their part, your application can be thrown out. You might have to start again. You might be lucky. You might, if you meet somebody who's a bit more empathetic, they might allow it to go through. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You just have to pray and hope for the best. So, according to the Freedom of Information, they had 8,000 appointments. I think this is last year. I haven't got a time frame. I think this is last year, but 8,000 appointments. And each one of these appointments paid £200 for an off-peak appointment and £260 during office hours. So they made 2 million in one location, which was at the Premium Lounge. But I don't know the time span of that. Then it said 52,504 appointments were booked at Croydon that offer a free service, but each of them had to pay to be seen on the same day. So these people come from miles and miles, So they get all the way down there thinking they're getting a free service. And then they're told, oh, well, if you need it today, you're going to have to pay this fee, which is £200 or whatever the fee is. Yeah, £200 or £260 because you're probably going during office hours. So you better carry some extra dosh on you. And Soprasteria cannot complete the application even though it's been submitted, because they will not make a decision until the process has been completed, which means going for one of these appointments, handing over the documents and having their biometrics taken. So you've got no way out. You have to do this. And that's adding pressure. There is a deadline on getting your biometrics. After that, your application is rejected. So you could have done all of that, but if you haven't got your biometrics in on time, your application can be rejected. You lose your money, your right to be in the country, and all the rights that go with that. So you become an illegal immigrant, even though you paid, and for whatever reason, your biometrics didn't come in time. Applicants used to pay $600 extra for the same day decision. They would see an immigration officer and have a discussion. Now they pay £800 for the same privilege for a 24-hour decision, but there is no face-to-face contact for any clarification. And like I said before, there have been instances where it hasn't been turned around in 24 hours, even after paying that money. There's a get out clause, a caveat. Like I said, probably say, if you pay this premium fee, we can turn it around for you in 24 hours. However, due to A, B, C, D, and E, we cannot guarantee. So this process is to price people out of the market. You can't afford it, you can't come in. So it's causing a lot of anguish for a lot of families, as you can imagine. And I thought it was important that you know this information. Yeah, it's not good. And you really have to ask yourself before you start spending money, do I really need to do this? That, especially if you've got a family and it's like 2,000 per family. Because, each family is the same amount of money. Each application. It's not like it's a family thing. They don't have any family packets, which they should do really to reduce the price. So if there's a family of 5, you'd think they'd reduce it, but they don't. Each member pays the same. So you have to think, if you've got about 5 members and you're paying like nearly 10,000, once all of these other fees are included, what would that £10,000 do in your home country? Are you sure you couldn't live a better life over there? Just asking. That's all for now. Bye-bye.